Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Jemma Hatt and I'm going to read the prologue and the first chapter from my new book, Kringle's Emporium, which is out now. Let's start with the prologue, and this is a newspaper cutout. Photos have been posted in local online groups showing a dark airborne object above Six Pines last night. It can be seen in several spots across the town, and in one blurry video it appears to be crashing at speed. 2 residents commented that they felt a small earthquake, although no seismic activity has been recorded. Police have said that the object is most likely to have been a drone and have issued a warning to follow legal guidelines while operating unmanned vehicles. Six Pines Chronicle, 17th of November. Chapter 1. The Pencils. It is curious how the smallest things can create a snowball that changes everything. For Lainey, it all started with the pencils. Lainey rolled her green eyes as Connor threw another scrunched up Christmas card at the boy at the front of the class. "Stop it," she hissed. "You're not funny." Mr. Sharma turned from a complicated sum on the whiteboard that nobody else was following. "No talking, Lainey?" Connor smirked. "Yeah, no talking, Red." He used this nickname not for Lainey's long brown hair, but for her bright red coat, currently hung over the back of her chair. He ripped another card from the wall at his side. 2 seconds later, a crumpled Arctic fox struck the back of Ben Hannigan's head. The boy flinched, but did not turn around. Connor yanked away a third card decorated with a picture of a giant glittery penguin. Connor had picked on Ben regularly, and Lainey was not sure why it was affecting her so much today. She had always stayed out of it before. Perhaps it was the vandalism of the festive animals. She snatched the card and held it in the aisle, out of Connor's reach. He grabbed her pencil case, unzipped it, and held a pencil in 2 hands. "No, don't even..." Lainey frowned as the pencil snapped in front of her. Dad had just bought 5 perfectly sharpened pencils from the newsagents at the weekend. She pictured his smile as he handed the pack to her. Dad loved pencils. He always wrote with one instead of a pen. "Give it back now!" Mr. Sharma spoke but kept his eyes on the jumble of numbers. "One more word, Lainey, and it's detention for you." Heat flushed through Lainey's freckled cheeks as she watched Connor slowly snap 3 more pencils, one by one, his eyes gleeful. He held the last pencil in front of him. Lainey bit her lip. Snap. Lainey blinked rapidly, swept the broken fragments and the rest of her belongings into her school bag, grabbed her red coat and moved to the front of the class, taking the empty seat next to Ben Hannigan. Sniggers rang across the classroom. Ben looked up, open-mouthed. It was the first time anyone had sat next to him since the beginning of term. Now Christmas was less than 2 weeks away, and Ben was firmly established as the most bullied kid at Six Pines Secondary School. Mr. Sharma finished the sum. He noted the changing seating arrangements with a lift of his eyebrows. After a nod of approval, he clapped his hands together. "Right, turn to page 48 of your textbooks and complete the practice sums." A murmur of chatter and giggles erupted around the classroom. Ben opened his textbook. "They'll be hideous to you too now." As if to prove his point, balls of cardboard hit both their heads. Lainey reached behind and picked up a crinkled polar bear wearing a red hat. She glanced at the inscription inside. "To the best teacher at Six Pines School, Happy Xmas from Kiara 7P. Lainey groaned inwardly. Mr. Sharma would not have made her top 3. She considered lobbing the card back at Connor, but since Mr. Sharma was standing close and luck was not on her side today, she flicked it back on the floor. Slamming her textbook open, her eyebrows furrowed as she turned to Ben. "I don't care. He snapped my pencils." Ben glanced at the broken fragments. "He's vile." Lainey nodded and the pair worked silently next to each other. Lainey did not know why Ben faced so much bullying. He was tall and not bad looking. His short, thick brown hair was neatly cut, although not in the trendy way most of the boys styled theirs. There was nothing wrong with him. The only thing was, he was a tiny bit different. He spent every break and lunchtime working as a volunteer librarian. He spoke in a slightly different way to everyone else. No other 11 or 12-year-old in their class used words hideous or vile. Lainey had lost count of the number of times she had seen Ben pushed over between classes and heard people making fun of him, especially on non-uniform day when he turned up in a hoodie covered in ornamental dragons and castles. But she had never spoken to him until now. When the bell rang for lunchtime, Ben shot out of the room like a bullet, heading towards the library. Lainey reached down to pick up her bag and flinched. The Christmas card stood perfectly straight and uncrumpled on the floor, the polar bear grinning and winking. Lainey had not noticed the wink before. How did the card fix itself? Was the polar bear winking at her? No, that was ridiculous, she told herself. It must be some sort of optical illusion, or a different card. She jumped at the sound of her friend Ava's voice close beside her. Why'd you sit next to him? Mr. Sharma made all the students in his class sit in girl-boy formation, and Ava always sat towards the back. Connor snapped my pencils. Connor sneered at the mention, pulling a hood over his blonde hair as he slunk out of the room. Ava waited until everyone else had gone ahead of them. She put a hand on Lainey's forearm as they headed to the canteen. You don't want to sit next to Ben. He's such a geek. And if you're nice to him, he'll ask you out. Ava scrunched her nose. That's what happened to me. All I did was ask if he was okay once, and he invited me to meet him at a cafe after school, some random place, as if I'd be seen dead there with him. You should have gone, said Lainey. He hasn't got any friends. He probably wasn't asking you out on a date. Ava looked at her friend as if she had landed from another planet. You're nuts. What would everyone at school have said? Once inside the canteen, they queued for the school's annual attempt at Christmas dinner and took seats at a table with others from their class. Aisha chuckled as she cut into a soggy roast potato. That was so funny when you sat next to Ben Hannigan for a joke. It wasn't a joke and it wasn't funny. Connor snapped my pencils. Lainey trailed off, her eyes drawn to an unusual sight. Ben Hannigan was in the canteen. He moved across the room, paused, and changed direction. What's he doing here? Lainey had assumed he ate lunch in the library. Connor shouted something at Ben that Lainey did not catch, and 2 tables of children burst into laughter. Ben kept his back turned to Connor, his shoulders hunched, appearing to be closely examining a fridge. Ava's eyes lit up as she leaned forward, pointing with a tiny burnt Yorkshire pudding on her fork. He's going to ask you out. I told you. You should go out with Connor instead. He likes you. Lainey screwed up her face. No, he doesn't. He snapped my... Yeah, he snapped your pencils. We get it. Ava nodded behind her friend, and Lainey turned to see Ben standing there, wringing his hands. Conversation at all the surrounding tables stopped. I wondered if you wanted to meet up with me at Bojangles on Sunday, he said. Say 3 o'clock? Aisha and Ava burst into laughter. Lainey looked at the sniggering faces around her and regretted being so high and mighty with Ava a few moments ago. If she said no, she would expose herself as a hypocrite. If she said yes, she would be teased relentlessly. She looked up at Ben's hopeful face. A couple of Connor's friends popped round from the main canteen doors, pointing to the back of Ben's head before hinding. Lainey swallowed, feeling sick. Yeah, okay. Ava and Aisha's jaws dropped. More laughter echoed around the table. Ben smiled a broad grin. Great! As he turned to go, Lainey hastily called him back. Ben, wait! It's not a date, is it? Ben shuffled his feet. No? At least that cleared that one up. Oh, and go out the side door, said Lainey. Right, thanks. So that was the prologue and chapter 1 of Kringle's Emporium. There are 25 chapters, so you can enjoy them across December, or you can just read them in 1 or 2 sittings. It's your choice. It's available in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. So check it out, and I can't wait to hear what you think. Bye for now.